Hi, my name is Iran Talmor. I want to share with you a plugin that I wrote for Reaper, the Reaper DAW. It's written in Reaper's internal JSFX scripting language, so it's not portable to other DAWs. It's open source, and I'll put it in the description below, a link to the GitHub. So what is it? Basically, if you're using Midi, whether it's keys or maybe a Midi guitar or drums, then you can do a couple of things with it. First of all, set rhythmic pattern, but it also measures your performance against this pattern and gives you feedback, both visual and audio. First of all, what you want to do is put a VSTI. Here I use Piano Tech 7, and I put the MIDI rhythm trainer before it. The reason it's before it in the stack is that it's going to send some MIDI notes or even filter some MIDI notes through it. When we are not playing anything, then you won't see anything special. Okay, except that notice this yellow dot here at the far right. So this is an activity monitor. It basically shows you that this is active. It's going to listen to these notes. I'll explain why this is important later. Pattern, the first thing you have to look at is its length, and this length is by beats. The default is 4 beats, and you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4. You can change it all the way down to 1 beat, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 32 beats. So this is a very long pattern. The other thing you can change is the number of subdivisions. In order to do that, there is a menu here, and you can increase or decrease the divisions. You can also use the mouse wheel if you like that better. So let's keep it at the default for now. And let's play. I put the metronome on. And well, first of all, we can add a click. So let's add this click sound. It's outputting each eighth note to Piano Tech. And you can change that. You can select another note or either change it with a wheel or listen. You can press, let me show you. So if I press, say, D5, so now it's D5, or maybe F sharp 4. Yeah. You can also decrease the velocity if that's too noisy for you. And of course, you can mute it. If you want, you can also output this to another channel. So say if you have like multiple instruments on your stack, you can output this maybe to a drum kit. Okay, let's stop this for a second. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to play with it and see what happens. Let me just turn off the click. If I play now, so you see that first of all, each time I press a key, then a circle will appear. But also notice that some of the beats are audible and some are not. And the reason is that some are too far off the grid. So notice that if they're in these green zones, okay. So if they're in the green zones, then they're good and they can be heard. If they're too late, they're going to be red. If they're too early, they're going to be blue. Now, blue means it's closer to the next note, or next grid line. Red means it's closer to the previous grid line, like the Doppler effect in light, right? So blue is fast, red is slow. And of course, when I miss the grid, then I'm not going to hear it. And this is very good because I don't have to look at the screen, and I can know immediately that I'm not playing close enough to the grid. Now I can also shrink the green areas. Now it's at 50%, which means that the volume or the area, the green area, takes around half of the total area. Can move it all the way up to 100%. Then anything that I play is legal. Um, but if I take it down, then where's my mouse? Then it's going to be harder for me to hit those 8 notes. Let's see. Okay, so now I hit them pretty well. The next thing that we can do is practice a little, and notice this graph below. So it shows a couple of things here. The hit rate. So the hit rate is this sort of average hit that I played lately. And you see it's quite dynamic. It changes every time I play. By the way, when I don't play, then it's going to be quite stable. If I want to improve this rate, I must play, which is also a good motivator. Now, I see also the error bound, which we saw earlier. If I move it manually, you see that it changes on the graph. And so there's some reverse correlation between the error graph and the hit rate. If the error graph, the error bound is really high, then it's going to be easier for me to hit. Here it's actually quite hard to miss. Now, there's a feature here that will automatically shrink your error bound as a function of your hit rate. So if you play better than 90%, it's going to gradually shrink. And this is called auto shrink error bound. Let's clear the graph here and play again this Mozart as bad as I do. mm. Okay, so I don't have the 16 notes, but you saw that it already shrunk to 37%. And you can see it here in the graph that the CN line kind of dropped down here. And it dropped once I got here to the 90s. Okay, so this 10-minute graph, it will just start from over after 10 minutes. So I didn't add too many features to this graph thing, maybe somewhere in the future. But I think that 10 minutes are a nice kind of time to practice. Okay, what else can we do? So actually we can do a lot with the rhythm grid itself. First of all, we can mask or turn off some of these divisions or some of these lines. So say I want something like, let's do this. Okay, let's just drop off a couple of maybe a couple of lines here, maybe four lines. Okay, and turn the click back on. Okay. So this is not just about the click being masked, it's also about the grid itself being masked. So I'm I'm not allowed to play outside this pattern. You see it in the green zones. So if I just play 8 notes now, you see it, they're either blue or red. They're basically illegal. So now you're bound to a pattern. Okay. The next thing you can do, let's bring them back. By the way, that's with the right click, this toggling. Okay. You can do stuff like, clav and patterns like that. Um, so the next thing you can do is do some shuffle or swing. So if you grab the 2, 4, or 6, you see that the parameter here is swing. You can move those. So let's play those. And if I play with that, bring it up a little. Okay. Another one is the phase, so I can move everything a little or even a lot. So now sort of the grid is off the grid. And this might be useful if you want to practice maybe playing a little behind deliberately or a little after the beat deliberately. But I'm not going to try this now, so excuse me. The next thing that you might want to do is polyrhythms. So we can say play for again 6. Let's listen to that. I'm missing them quite a lot. Let me turn off the auto shrink and pull it up. Okay. But, and yeah, you can also change the beat. So let's do something weird like 5 beats with 6 subdivisions. Let's hear that. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do this without hearing the click itself. Okay, beginner's luck. But maybe you want to go farther than that. So remember this yellow thing here, this indicator. Basically, you can add more lanes. So this is one lane. You can add another lane. You can have 2 lanes. You can have all the way up to 4 lanes. So why would you want to go this crazy? Well, maybe you have a drum kit, a Midi drum kit, and you want to practice a polyrhythm, each kind of limb, left hand, right hand, left foot, right foot, doing a different thing. So you can set this up. Let's just do a 2. I'm a pianist, not a drummer. So what we can do here is do a split, and the way we do that is we set an input filter. We can filter the top one to start. Let's listen, say at C5. Okay. So now notice these yellow indicators. So now the top one is responsive, but if I go down to B4, the bottom one is responsive. Now both, yeah. And this is helpful to know that I'm setting this up correctly without starting clicking and doing all the noise. Note that I didn't have to set a maximum note on the bottom one because the first one that catches it, which is the first kind of filter that catches it, if it's caught on the first lane, it won't proceed to the second lane. This also makes setup easier. Okay, so let's do something simple. Let's put here 16 notes. Go back to that Mozart. And on the bottom one have eight, eight. Oh, and of course we want 4 beats, not 5 beats. And pull this up. Okay, let's play it. So you see, I'm really off the grid. I should practice. Um, but it does give me this feedback. Anyway, this is the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll download it and have some fun with it. Tell me if you do. Drop me a line. I may or may not continue to develop this. This is a fun kind of weekend sort of thing. So see you around. Bye bye.